Hello! You're watching more of this Ring of Red series. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. We are approaching the final part of the map wherein things can go seriously wrong and cause me to start the whole thing over. Of course, I've already confirmed that this is not what happens, but I'd like to think it's the details that make things interesting. For example, the Titanic movie. Everyone knew it was going to sink. However, it was the presentation, the side stories, the actors. These things made it worth watching, apparently. I haven't seen it myself, but you can't argue with money. Well, so, like the Titanic, this video will continue on forever. It is very unlikely that Kinsato and the others will arrive in time to assist with all these AFWs that just showed up. Also, I finally got a squad with ink shrap. I'm probably not going to use it. Well, I'm definitely not going to use it in this map. But you've noticed that I don't especially use anti-squad shells very much. The reason is, well, kind of the same reason I don't use anti-armor shells very much. It's very difficult to stock enough of them for the AFW to do the job throughout the entire map. Although I am tempted to pick up a build just loaded with shells and try it. So maybe one squad with shrapnel, one with incendiary, and that one with the ink shrap. It would probably fail, but if I complete the map anyway, it might be for fun viewing. Well, I guess that's going to be a thing now. Weizsäcker, this is the sort of battle that you should live for. I mean, you have a somewhat bulky enemy, lots of anti-armor shooting, and they are basically helpless. Yes, they are basically helpless. I mean, I have plenty of shots to take. It shouldn't be difficult. Like that. That's a good start. So that shot did 40 damage. As mentioned before, these AFWs tend to be very solid blocks of armor. This kind of thing is exactly what Weizsäcker's latest maximum attack is for as soon as I move close enough to mitigate some of this damage drop-off. So, as mentioned, last shot did about 40 damage. That is considerably better. Now, the problem is that I was still at the far side of medium range, and that probably caused some damage drop-off. My suspicion is that the numbers for each range on the status bar are not absolute numbers that alter drastically the moment you step from one range to another. I think the only one that actually works that way is close combat. Rather, I'd probably need to move into the medium part of medium to start getting my full damage. So, I considered using a second maximum attack, but what if I need it later? Therefore, the answer is to not use it. If I recall correctly, I was nowhere near empty when it came to his maximum attacks at the end of the map. Therefore, the lesson is to use your stuff. It is an excellent idea to use your stuff. I mean, the AI is dangerous to a large degree because they are not in any way shy about using their stuff. Well, they just kinda walked into this, didn't they? I am generally accustomed to the enemy trying to disrupt my plan in some way. For example, I don't know, charging into one of my forelegs at close range, or attacking one of my AFWs that is not set up for stripping squads by an enemy that has all their squads still. What happened here is more like the enemy took a look at what I would do if I was in fact in control of things, and they just did that for me just to be nice. That was, I want to say surprisingly quick or disturbingly quick, but honestly that's just how things go when the enemy doesn't have medics with smoke shot. There's actually nothing special about this. And now that their other squads are gone, I can do this. Actually, I could have done this earlier, but sometimes I forget to check which squads possibly have repair. Disrupting the enemy's aim with aim weapon is great, because then this happens. They take a huge hit to accuracy immediately, and because their weapon is broken, they can't re-aim very well. I could probably emergency load and finish them off, but unlike Weizsäcker, Ayana actually is getting low on maximum attacks, and there are some battles setting themselves up. Besides which, it turned out to be completely unnecessary. I mean, I'm not going to complain about this result. Of course I won't. It's just so unusual that I'm shaken up a little bit. That four-leg would have been better off if it didn't have that recon to extend their attack range, because then they would have stood there and I would have had to, I don't know, perhaps do something a little bit more awkward. Like they might have attacked Ippei and forced him to use a maximum attack to close in. So what do I do with this situation? My recon are in no shape to fight. Considering that they have a recon up front and they have some pretty good DPS at the range that they are likely to close into, I admit it's rather odd for them to attack at medium range because that will make things much easier for me. Now, I'm not actually interested in putting down chain mines. Well, actually, that's a lie, but I didn't expect to get away with it, because those mechanics of theirs definitely have cleanup, and once I start shooting them, they're going to run into the back line and disarm any mines that I put down. Their AFW is likely to shoot at my infantry, so I feel like in this case hit and run is better for my squads. Wow, the enemy hasn't missed a daylight shot in quite a while, or at least not under good circumstances. Whoa, they didn't actually pull the mechanic squad back. I know they had the opportunity to because they moved their recon forward. So I was a little bit late in firing that shot, but not too bad. I'm going to lose some accuracy due to the flash shot, but not as much as I thought. It feels a little bit odd moving forward in the face of an anti-AFW, especially since mine is flimsy and cannot punch back. Also, I was just kind of guessing about where they were aiming. Someday Jen will realize that he actually does have to take responsibility for his shooting of people, and he was going to have trouble handling it. Ah, no enemy soldiers to fire upon. What an inspiring, uplifting message. Okay, this went considerably better than most of Jun's encounters with anti-AFWs. Although if there are more setups without repair, I suspect he'll do just fine in the future. I need to remember to use check fire. Well, the enemy is going to move before Weizsäcker does. And I need to sort of figure things out. Jun definitely needs to recover. Weizsäcker, as far as I can tell, does not. Ayana's squads are also hurting. Or at least one of them is, which is still important. And yeah, that's not a huge amount of recovery there. We should be fine, even though that battle with Weizsäcker did not go as I hoped. So, new plan. Jun will move forward and engage the enemy that ran away because he's a hybrid build. He can finish things off. Especially if they're really weakened like that. Then Weizsäcker will move in and attack the anti-AFW that just got its squads stripped off. And as for the rest of them, who knows? They will probably not reach me this turn, though. This time, having the recon on the ground is great because that hefty 20% accuracy penalty is suddenly not a thing anymore. Now, I need to be careful with my shooting because I can easily push them into medium range where my mechanics get a damage drop-off. And the enemy will naturally want to go that way as well. Wow, that was very unimpressive damage. Ooh, right in the knee. I'm thinking of some sort of special squad skill, like for engineers or supplies, that is kind of like Wire, except the opposite side of it. Like E-Wire damages and restricts for a while, so it would there would be Wire, which is one of the weaker skills, which only immobilizes them for a while. And then there would be this grenade or rocket grenade skill that only damages the leg by shooting the knee. Just an idea that is almost certainly never going to be implemented because, I mean, no one's making a sequel or remake as far as I know. Well, we definitely don't want them to end the battle prematurely, so I think bringing Wire is a good idea. We've already encountered a battle where they start at long and then walk all the way to close combat, even though I've been shooting and stuff. Alright, now we're getting to the closer, or at least medium side of medium. So if Weizsäcker can actually hit with one of his shells, we'll see if there's a difference. Since Wire wears off and the supplies don't deal very much damage directly, I think it's best to have them... Oh, ouch. That's right. At medium, they deal a lot of anti-infantry damage. Anyway, I think it's better to pull the supplies back and have them refresh the wire once it wears off. Kind of like Illumination Shot, except a completely different skill. There we go. Of course, this machine is less armored than the medium AFW, but is definitely a more characteristic damage number for Weizsäcker. Now, I'm sure that you've sort of put the ideas together, but remember my general choice of strategy when fighting bosses, which is to just unload on them with a huge supply of special shells and maximum attacks? Well, Weizsäcker has a skill built specifically for that. And he's going to get like 8 or 9 of them later on. So I'm actually hoping that I can have him trade punches or shells with a really tough enemy sometime soon. It should be fun to watch. Ippei is the punch-trading character. Although in this case it's not going to be so much trading as... oh, what do you call it? We run a charity service. We don't trade punches, we donate them. Huge piles of them. All the punches you could ever want. No need to thank me. I'm just doing my job. Because I'm here to help people. So one of the reasons that I really like the double recon build that I put on Ayana and the single recon build that I put on John is that for situations like this when the enemy attacks from a tile away, that extra range from the recon allows me to attack from the back regardless. It really just makes things so much easier. Now, I want to emphasize here that there is no particular reason when it just comes to seizing victory for me to aim at their squads. I mean, they will be destroyed by 2 shells. I will save health and, well, both AFW health and squad health by just finishing them off quickly. So, why am I about to go murderizing their troops? Well, the answer is greed, gentlemen and ladies. Pure, blatant, unveiled greed. For experience, of course. Now, this time I did check, and neither of those squads on the ground have repair. So I'm doing this. Now, this does not usually work at any range other than long, because I am reasonably sure that the effectiveness of this attack and its chance to damage the weapon is related to your base accuracy, which is great at long range, but not great at any other range. Therefore, when I'm attacking with Ayana, it's best to do this early in the battle before the enemy has time to adjust and, well, there's really only one direction that they would ever adjust. And for that to work properly, it is vital to pay attention, which, as we've seen, and I'm certain we will see in the future, it has caused me some difficulties in the past. Wait, no, I didn't say that right. I can't grammar! Help! Help! Send an English teacher! Send the language paramedics! Now, what makes this greed especially awful is that I'm giving the enemy the chance to use their anti-armor shells and, well, generally do the things that, in any even semi-realistic situation, I should never allow. I had the chance to prevent this APC shell. I didn't take that chance. I should probably get a court-martial for this. But it's a video game, so nothing bad is going to happen to me. Bad things are going to happen to the characters, of course, because, once again, it's a video game. Bad things always happen. Like that. That's horrifying. Why would I do something like that? More to the point, why would I do something like that for enjoyment? What sort of horrible sick person am I? The answer is I'm a sick person who plays video games. And the game rewards me for this sort of thing. Okay, I admit that's somewhat less rewarding. But it's just part of how the game works. There are no serious consequences for this. And that is that. There is no way that either of those enemies will attack Ayana. She will have plenty of time to recover. Okay, I cannot especially fault their logic in this case. Adding some extra distance from an enemy anti-AFW seems like a pretty good plan. I mean, yes, their appropriate range is medium, not long, but it's not hard to figure out which way the enemy is going to go, especially an enemy like the one I'm controlling right now. That ended up sounding weird, but I'm sure you can understand what I was getting at. Of course, it's not going to work anyway, because I have plenty of maximum attacks and quick move, which I swear is, even though accurate fire is a thing, quick move is probably the most broken skill in the entire game. I considered Straight Strike, but they have a supply-in crew, and they almost always have repair. Yes, I did not pay attention to whether they actually had it or not. I should probably fix that problem. And I believe that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I look forward to you watching the next one. Later!